So now, inside of QGIS, we are going to create our Google and Bing satellite overlays for our inner and outer terrains, right? And they're going to be in TIF format, which is just another photo format at this point. So let's get started. So we're going to be creating 4 overlays. We're going to be creating our inner Google. Okay, so that's the overlay for the inner part of our golf course where the fairways and everything is actually at. We're going to be creating another inner, but using Bing data. We're going to be creating an outer overlay from our Google data. So that's the perimeter around the outside. And then we're going to be creating another outer with Bing as well. Some people ask, do I need to do Google and Bing? Do I need to do both? No, but sometimes the Bing satellite overlay is better than the Google, and sometimes the Google is better than the Bing. It's just better to have both, and then you can decide inside of Inkscape and inside of Unity later on which one you want to use, or maybe you use both. I sometimes switch back and forth to get a different perspective. But anyway, let's go inside of QGIS and set these up. So let's go into QGIS. Now, we have our LiDAR surface outer, we've got our LiDAR surface inner. We're going to be using these, okay, to create our Google and Bing overlays. So let's do our 2 inners first, okay? So remember, we're going to be creating an inner for our Google and an inner for our Bing. So inners first, right click on Google. I'm going to go to export, save as. Up here at the top, guys, there's a lot of stuff you have to enter on this screen. Be detail oriented. If you miss any of these, it's not going to work. Okay, so we're going to do rendered image. We're going to do uncheck, create VRT. I'm going to tick this browse button right here, and I'm going to browse to our LiDAR directory where we're holding all of our LiDAR project information, and we're going to go in here to overlays. And I'm just simply going to call this one, the name of my project, Oakmont, so whatever the name of your project is, underscore, and we're doing the Google first, so I'm going to say G for Google, and I'm going to hit save. Now, the next thing I'm going to do, again, all these things are really important, but this one, I'm going to hit this CRS. I'm going to make sure we pick our project CRS that we set very early on. If you don't do that correctly, you're going to be in a world of hurt. Ain't going to work, okay? Down here, calculate from layer. We're doing our inner, so we're going to use our project name, LiDAR surface inner. And then down here, we're going to select columns, and we're going to enter 16,000. So 16000. All right. And now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to uncheck add saved file to map. Uncheck it. And now I'm going to hit OK. Now, as soon as I do that, you're going to see down here at the bottom this little tick area that's counting up. It's actually downloading the data from Google, and it takes a little bit. It is actually really feature-rich data. But while that's doing that, we can come down here, select Bing, right-click, and do export, save as, and we're pretty much do the same thing again. Rendered image, unchecked VRT. We're going to browse here, but now instead of Oakmont underscore G, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do Oakmont underscore B for Bing, right? And I'm going to hit save. This is still downloading down here. I'm going to come and again, project CRS, I got to select that. The layer, we're still doing our inner, we're just doing it for Bing now. So I selected that. My columns, 16,000, 16,000, and unchecked file to map. So this is about done. Now that this is done, I can now select OK here. And now it starts processing my Bing data. Well, while that's going on, let's go get started on our outer satellite overlays. So back up here to Google again, right click, export, save as, rendered image. I'm going to uncheck create VRT, file. Now I'm going to do Oakmont, and I'm going to call this underscore outer underscore G because we're creating our outer satellite overlay now. I'm going to hit save. Next thing I do is I'm going to correct my project CRS here in the CRS entry. Layer, now I'm going to do Oakmont LiDAR surface outer. select that one. Columns, again, 16,000, 16,000. Uncheck add saved files to map, and now I'm going to hit, well, let's wait till this is done. So that's almost done, almost done. Probably could have paused. Okay, so that's done. Now I'm going to hit OK there. Now it's going to start creating our outer. But while that's going on, we can right click on Bing to start our Bing outer. Export, save as, rendered image, unchecked VRT. I'm going to go in here. I'm going to call this one Oakmont underscore outer underscore B for Bing. Save that. Project CRS, layer surface outer, columns 16, 1, 2, 3, 16, 1, 2, 3. Uncheck the add saved file to map, and now I hit OK. Now, since that's done down here, I hit OK, and now it starts doing our Bing. And I'm just going to pause this while that's working. So now that we've pulled those 4 different satellite overlays, all right, our Google and Bing inner, our Google and Bing outer, let's just double check to make sure that they look right. So if I browse into my project and I go to my overlays folder, I now have 4 overlays here. And these are really big files. So if I do a view here and I do details, you can see they're each a gig. Okay, these are very detailed. But if I do view, extra large icons, you can see they all look like they're pretty good. So here are my inners and here are my outers zoomed out. Now, if any of these are black or don't look correctly, look in the document. There's a workaround, okay, for going in, and you go into one of the appendixes, and there's a workaround for trying to get these to look correctly. But if they don't look, okay, like they're rendering a satellite image, look in the document, and there's a ways that you can work around that, okay? So looks like we're in good shape here. Let's go on to the next video.